How's everyone doing? Awesome, awesome. Well, my name's Dave Cronster. I am from St. Louis, Missouri in the United States. We are known for three things. Chuck Berry, everybody knows, Anheuser-Busch, and that's where Kim Lewis went to college. And we celebrate citywide all three of those. So I am an ethical hacker. I have been doing this for about 10 years. I've been in technology professional for over 20 years, and I got into computers when I was 4 years old. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I do have some gray, so you can kind of do the math. Kim and Stephanie, which, by the way, great conference. We put on a conference for our company. There's 7 of us, and we have about 900 people a year, and it's really tough to do no matter the size of the conference. Stephanie asked me to come and to talk a little bit about really what's happening in the InfoSec field. People like to use the term cybersecurity. I'll give you a hint. Those of us in the field hate the term cybersecurity. I've never protected a cyber. I've never met a cyber. I protect information. So it's InfoSec. Real quick, one thing I didn't put in there, last two speakers, great, talked a little bit about cloud. In our field, we call the cloud another person's computer. It is someone else's computer. When you're talking about security, would you put your data on my computer? Well, it depends. If it's secure, if it's sensitive, you better make sure that it's secure. Make sure that you are doing due diligence. Those of you in Europe that have not had to deal with this yet, you need to make sure you're doing vendor due diligence, that they are securing the data at rest, in motion, and that in some cases they may be storing your data but may not have access to it. This is a must. It really sucks when your data gets breached. It really, really sucks when it's your vendor that did it, and I've dealt with way too many cases like that. So a little bit about myself. By the way, this is going to be a really depressing talk, so I'm sorry already. I am a security practitioner. I'll be honest, I've been doing this 20 years. I did not go to university. Back then, they didn't even have degrees in this, okay? I was a senior in high school when the World Wide Web was created. For you youngsters, that was a long time ago. Everything I'm going to talk about is real. In fact, every slide I showed you, I went and I got some of them in the hotel today. I am an ethical hacker. My job and my firm's primary job is to break into organizations. So I will either break in via your computer, via phishing you, and even physically. In the past year, I've been able to break into a bank as the bug guy, as the exterminator, and take control of the entire organization. I've been able to break into a police station and, with permission of the police chief, steal the police car. That was fun. And lots of government and way too many corporate environments. Again, doesn't matter how I get in as long as I get in. We also do forensic investigations. So when someone gets breached or has a disclosure, we get calls. We work with people all over the world. In fact, there's a joke that when I'm leaving the country, there's going to be a major forensic investigation. As soon as I was boarding the plane, a major movie studio in Hollywood called us and said, "We have a problem." And I'm like, oh shit. So we got them solved though. I'm an instructor. I have been teaching how to hack for years. I've taught corporations worldwide. I've taught governments, including Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Dutch National Police, NSA for a bit. We kind of quit doing that after we found out what they were doing. And a PCI QSA, anybody here deal with credit cards? If you deal with credit cards, then, you know, I come in, I'm a boring auditor. Co-founder, my wife's the other founder. She is the boss. She's not here. She's running it. And again, we're not a solution provider. One of the problems I always ran into when I was in technology was someone saying, here's your problem, and I'm going to fix it this way. We are auditors. Ethical hacker is a sexy way of saying penetration tester. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by sexy. All right, so let's talk about the treasures, and let's talk about the data that people want. And in the US right now, everything's Equifax, Equifax, Equifax. If you were affected by it, let me tell you just a couple things real quick. Number one, you should be pissed because you had no choice of giving them your data. Number two, they sent out an email, and that email sent you to a malicious website. They're bad. They screwed up. Three, you went, and once you got the second email, by the way, if you went to that first one, your system got infected with malware. And we'll show you that in just a little bit. Thirdly, if you clicked on the link to check if you were breached, initially they were saying you're exempt from ever filing a class action suit against them. As of yesterday, they're starting to back away from there. But the thing to understand is that this data, in our field, it's just another day. It's just another day. That happened, there was probably 10,000 other breaches that went unnoticed or weren't reported that were 10 times worse. We have an information leakage problem. I mean, this is the Amazon River right now. A couple of years ago, I did a talk called Give Me Your Data, and it was about getting information legally, and I got tons of information legally. Now, there are people that get it illegally, and they post it out there. It's called doxing. And this stuff has been around for a long, long time. To think that everybody just wants this information to make money really isn't the point. And really what I want you to realize is it's a losing battle. I don't want to really give you too much hope. You are having to protect data that's already out there, and if someone breaches, which means they not necessarily got your information, but may have, you may get fined, and they may not have gotten anything, or that data may have already been out there. Now, what kind of data are we talking about? Well, here's some people. Let's see if you can figure out who they are. Stephanie Germanata. Anybody know who she is? Lady Gaga. There we go. First lady in there to do it. It's always some guy going, Lady Gaga! And I'm like, oh. Here's a social security number. If you're not an American, that's a big deal. Her date of birth, everybody knows. Phone number. I never called it because I'm not creepy like that. And her address. Kimberly Noel Kardashian. What's her last name now? I don't know. I've gotten that old. Social security number. The Kardashians are out there. In fact, when I went and I got this information, here's some of the people up there. Number one was Angelina Jolie, because why not? CIA Director John Brennan. A few years ago, his information was his AOL account, which says a lot. Our CIA director had an AOL account. If you have an AOL account, that means you're old. My father-in-law has one. It got breached, and I was on CNN talking about this, and I made the mistake of going, 4 years ago I saw his information, and in my mind I went, oh shit, I just admitted to a crime. My lawyer said, no, I didn't. But NSA, Secret Service, Michael Vick, of course, if you guys aren't football fans, American football fans, you don't know this guy, he's a jerk. All their information was out there. Now, whose information can I find now? Yesterday I decided, let's go see who is someone everybody will know. And so I did what every hacker does. I route my traffic. I routed it first through India, then to Brazil, then back to Australia, then to Iceland, then to Canada, then used Tor, which did it about 6 or 7 more times. I covered my tracks because law enforcement can't catch me. And I got this guy's information. Can anybody in the front read it for the back? Who is it? Donald Trump. The freaking president of the United States information's out there. Do you really think you have a chance to protect your own information? Hell no. Now, again, we're hitting celebrities, and it's real easy to go, oh, hey, look, celebrities are out there. I go to these doxing sites. I've seen my name out there. It's not because I'm a hacker. It's because there's been breaches and people just give it away. I've seen my coworkers. I saw my grandpa, for crying out loud. My grandpa died in 1985. People keeping old information. Now, the thing to understand is this stuff doesn't happen and bells go off. It doesn't work that way. The blinky light box that's supposed to tell you everything's wrong, trust me, doesn't tell you everything's wrong. We get into a lot of our tests a lot of times, and we have had clients mad at us because we haven't started yet. And we have to tell them, not only have we started, we're in your network. By the way, we've cracked your domain password, we've pulled all your user accounts, and we're about 90% through cracking them. And then all they say is, well, when can we expect the report? For us, it's, we're good guys, so that's good. Now, keep that in mind as you go through this. And you're not alone. Every industry, every company in every country in the world is running into this. This is characters. What's the character set? Can anybody tell me? What character set is this? Latin. We're trying to protect a technology that is 2,400 years old. Characters, text in the 21st century world. Whether it's a credit card number, whether it's PII, whether it's personal health care information, no matter what it is, we're trying to protect this in a world where it's easy to get out. We're in a losing battle until we change how we actually hold information. Now, you want something for sale? Everybody wants something for sale. So, I did find European guns. You guys do get a good deal on them. Not as good as I get, but how about credit cards? This one's kind of cool because they'll get you a credit card, Euro credit debit card with at least 1,500 euro on it, goes for 0.037 Bitcoin, which, let me do the horrible math I had, that's about 250 euro. Now, what do they do? What do you get along with that? It's not just that. They'll give you a fresh new account every day. If they find that the amount is less, they'll give you a new account. Plus, you can go, well, you know what? He's in Dallas. Pick on Dallas over here. And the credit card's in Berlin. Well, guess what? I'm going to give you a SOX. That is a VPN over to Berlin, so that way it looks like you're coming from Berlin. And we give you that free of charge. Now, why do they only charge that much for $1,500? Well, because there's a lot more risk. There's a lot more risk out there. But it's out there. And again, my biggest problem I ran into was trying to figure out which one screenshot the best. There are hundreds of these. Now, this is called the dark web, this Tor. Don't get on there. If you ever are interested, don't. There is a lot of bad stuff in here. There is pedophilia, there is terrorism, there is illegal activity. You can get snared up into something you're not supposed to. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Now, ransomware has become a big deal. This is a client of mine in St. Louis. Their name's Express Scripts. They do mail order pharmacy. They actually did the mail order pharmacy for everybody in the United States government. And one day, they have about 3,000 people in their IT department. Who here has 3,000 people in their IT department? No one. All right, so you'll love this. President of Express Scripts comes into his work one day. He gets a UPS package, a little letter envelope, and it says, I have taken control of your network and taken all your information. Now, by the way, this was 8 years ago. And then proceeded to have 30 pages of very, very sensitive information. If you don't pay me $250,000, we're going to release 50 million records of people's health information. And then what was interesting was right after that, all 2,000 IT workers got locked out of the network. That's a bad day. Now, they did the right thing. I think they did the right thing. They went to the FBI. They had a crisis communication person, and they went and they said, listen, this is a bad news. We screwed up somewhere, but we are not going to pay someone that's blackmailing us. And you never heard what happened. You never do. You never do. Chances are they didn't catch the people, But they have recovered from this because they handled the breach good. They didn't Equifax it. All right, you want to start ransomware? Talked about SaaS over here. Here is ransomware as a service. You just give us names of people, we will infect them with ransomware, and then we split the profits. This is enterprising. I mean, come on. Some 12-year-old kids, they're drinking this chocolate milk, eating this hot ham and cheese, doing ransomware. And there really are kids that young doing this. Think about this. This is prevalent everywhere. My favorite site to go to when I want to learn about step-by-step instructions about the new attack is YouTube. Let that sink in for a little bit. Go to YouTube and look to see how to hack stuff. By the way, I did want to mention the cloud services. My first exploit I ever did, zero-day exploit, that's an exploit in which you find the exploit before the patch is actually released. Those are kind of big deals. Mine was actually a cloud-based installation, and it was the infrastructure, the underlying infrastructure for it. And from a web browser, I didn't even have to use any of my other tools. Just straight from a web browser, I was able to take over the admin account and create myself a new admin account and lock out everybody and take control of all the instances or virtual machines in there. When I went and I talked to my client, he was obviously very disturbed. They went to go talk to the vendor, and the vendor said, you know what, no, we're secure. We're built on Linux. So they're out of business now. Be very careful on how to deal with this. Now, if you don't get anything, I'm going to tell you, anybody here a Redditor? All right, too long to read. I'm going to just tell you it. TLDR. You're going to lose here at some point. You're going to get hit. Let's figure out a way to make it not so bad and have yourself prepared. Now, I wanted to hit real quick on social engineering. Social engineering is hacking the human. Listen, we get into technology all the time, and a firewall is a firewall is a firewall. And every CEO wants to tell me, we're secure, we have a firewall. And I go, I just want to start clapping for them. No, yeah, not really. Social engineering is hacking the human. And social engineering's been around for years. I have a feeling there's a lot of marketing people in here, right? Yeah, you guys are social engineers, all right? Now, the thing about social engineering, and I'm going to reference a couple talks. They are on YouTube. A good buddy of mine in the United States, there's a bunch of us that travel the world together, and he records hundreds of talks a year. These are on YouTube if you want to find it. It's called The Psychology of Social Engineering. You know, a lot of people say social engineering is because someone's stupid. Well, it's true. People are stupid. I won't disagree with that. But social engineering has to do with the whole fact that there's an emotional side and there's a logical side. The logical side doesn't fall for social engineering. The problem is that emotional side takes over. It's more primal, and it will make you do things you normally won't. You get angry, right? We have a phrase in the United States called knee-jerk reaction. My wife is a purse junkie. And I know all the names, Michael Kors. Okay, I only know one because that's all she buys. She goes to the Michael Kors store and she comes back with two. And she says, I saved us money. It was buy one, get one half off. That is social engineering. When I was single, as a guy, I would buy beers for girls I had no chance with, and they would take them. That was social engineering. I was thinking emotionally. That's why social engineering works. And we know if we try hard enough, we'll get just one person, and that's all it takes. So I'm going to give you a little quiz here, and we're going to see how good you are with social engineering. I know this is really small. I think they're recording it, and Kimberly, are the slides going to be available? Oh, yeah, sure. They'll be available. They will not have any Trojan, I promise. Can anybody tell which is the real one, which is the fake one? By the way, I made the fake one, and I don't know how to program. Well, I know how to program in BASIC and Pascal. Anybody? Oh. The one with the longer URL is what? is the fake. Why? It's just your intuition. Your intuition's right, which, believe it or not, will save you a lot of times. She's right. Up here is www.mcdonalds.com, blah, 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 home. Down here is C:// my files, blah, 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 blah. Now, the reason I created this, way I created this website is you have to understand websites aren't rendered on a service. They're rendered in your browser. I used 1996 technology called an offline browser. Who of us are old enough to remember those? Yeah, okay, there's a few of us that will admit it. Nodding your head. I see you. But I can use that then, and I can change it how I want. But what's your name, ma'am? Jillian. Jillian had a great eye. She said, look at the URL. Which of these URLs is not a McDonald's URL? The first one. The third. The third one. Do I hear a second? Do I hear first? You're right. The first and the third one. And the rest of you that are looking confused, you have to understand that almost all of our languages, we read left to right. Domains read right to left. All right? So the domain of the top one's mks.info. The bottom one is entries.com. And then I created subdomains. The thing is that I expect a human to replace those dots with slashes. And you may say to yourself, I'm not going to. But you're here listening to a hacker. You know you're listening to a hacker, and I'm telling you that they're wrong. Do you really think that when you're busy, you may click the right one? Well, we have spam filter. We have web filters. That's true. But see, the problem with web filters is if I tell you I'm sending you to that URL and I don't lie where I'm sending it to you, it lets you go. That's the flaw of all of those. So all I have to do now is get you to click on the right URL. Then I send you a phishing email. Now, this phishing email is from my buddy bill.gates@microsoft.com. Dave, are we still on for beers for Friday? Melinda's making cupcakes. That's a horrible combination. Your buddy Bill. Spoofing emails is trivial. Spoofing phone numbers is trivial. Who here sends out marketing campaigns? Who here uses a third party? Right? But they use your domain. There is in the SMTP, which is the email protocol, there are, you can say vulnerabilities or program logic flaws that allows you to send emails as someone else. In fact, there's a flaw that will allow me as an external user to send email to one internal user from another internal user, and your spam filter will not catch it. If anybody wants to talk about the technical stuff, I'll be there tonight. DNSSEC, none of those will catch it, right? So now I have the website to fool you, I have the email to fool you, I have the URL to fool you. And then the question is, okay, you may not click on this, how many of your coworkers will? Because no one wants to admit what they'll do, but they'll admit what their coworker wants to do. Now, what's the end game here? Once I get in, I need to do when I exploit you. So whether you're a good hacker or a bad hacker, you have 4 or 5 steps, right? And they're all the same. Footprint my target, attack my target, gain access, maintain backdoors, and cover my tracks. I don't care if you're good or bad. Everybody does it the same way. So I have to maintain access. Now, we hear the term malware all the time, and we're not going to really get into it, but viruses, Trojans, and worms are 3 different things. Please, if you want to get anything, get a virus. They're just not a big deal these days. Trojans, on the other hand, are the big deal. We don't call them Trojans in our field, we call them RATs. RATs stand for Remote Administration Tool. Like TeamViewer, yes. VNC, we exactly. All right, now real quick, I'm going to show you a movie because I thought I had 45 minutes, I have 35, speaking faster than I normally do. I shorten this. Usually I show you how I build it, But just understand, if you can install a program, you can create a Trojan and you can make it bypass antivirus. So what we're going to see is I created a Trojan. Now what happens is that little piece that you find on your system is called the server. And everybody's heard of a client-server application? That's what this is. The hacker has the client. It's this nice, rich, thick GUI, and your system connects back to me, all right? So what I had this system do is I'm going to have it connect back to me, but I'm going to have it, because you're going to click on a button and nothing's going to happen. I have an error message that comes up that says, hey, this file's bad. It's not. But it helps that psychology of why nothing happened. Please download it again, right? It's just, I made it do that. Before that, what I did in this is I randomly picked a antivirus. I think I picked McAfee, and then I updated it for the day I created this, and then I scanned it. Now, just to give you a hint, this is a Trojan I used in all my classes. Just that year, in the past year and a half, I did about 70 classes with at least 40 people, and all of them gave them to the antivirus companies. There's actually a site where you can submit it, all right? So just to give you an idea. So, sir, may we start? All right, so you're going to see this thing. We're going to scan it. And what I did to make it bypass antivirus is very, very simple. We're going to scan it. And then when we click on it, you're going to see the error message, but your computer's going to go back and talk to me. All right, so McAfee, whatever, parameter. We scan it. I don't make it make that noise. Uh-oh. That means we've gotten into the system. All right. No, can you go back just a little bit? Go back just a little bit. Just right back. Perfect. How do you say perfect in Spanish? Or French?
He speaks French.
I took 10 years of Spanish. All I can say is donde es biblioteca, which I've never used. All right, so we're scanning. Hey, no Trojan here. That's nothing but a Trojan. All right, so we click on it. Please download again. But your system connects to me, and I see, hello, new victim. Now stop it real quick. Stop. Understand this. I'm not targeting you. You just by chance got my Trojan. And I got you now. I don't even have to know who you are. All right, let's have it go. Don't do this. It's illegal. All right, so I get to see a bunch of stuff, operating system, all that, but the fun comes when I right-click on it. I right-click on it, I go to Control Center. Now, it goes real fast here. So in real time, I can come in, I can see your resources. Maybe I want to use your system to Bitcoin mine. It's your electricity, not mine. I can actually come in and look. And this right here, user ID, is Windows is telling me you're an administrator. It's awesome. Now, we're hackers. We like to have our dessert first. I can trace map you. An internal IP always shows up Golden, Colorado. Don't know why. So I can hide your desktop, show your desktop, open your CD, close your CD, make it play the piano, talk to you, even make your computer talk to you, which is creepy. Don't do to your wife. Processes. Stop it real quick. All right. So you see right here where it says Explorer, and there's two different Explorers. One of those is my Trojan. See, understand, when I install this is an application, but I inject it into another application because I know you have antivirus. I hope you have antivirus Mac users. And I know that you have a desktop firewall. So this is already whitelisted. It's going to let me go through. So this is saying, hey, dummy, don't get rid of the red one. But if I do, it's going to reconnect. It doesn't matter. It's good. All right, continue. All right, so I can create my own processes, blah, 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 blah. Your registry, this is where you keep a bunch of information. Windows is called Windows because Bill Gates imagined everything in Windows. These are Windows no one sees except for me. So I can come in, I can do stuff like make it expand on you. Now, I only do that if I wanted to. I can change the name of it to you're hacked. I only do that when I create a backdoor in another system, and I'm in permanently. Uninstall. This is the point where people go, well, are you going to uninstall the antivirus? No. That may kick change management. Your antivirus is telling me that everything's okay. All right. I can look at what services are starting up. So I can stop any protections you may have. This is the real technical, boring stuff. File transfers. Look how easy it is for me to steal your data. I can come in, click it, download it, and it's mine. Passwords, stop. If you store a password in the browser, I got it. It's all mine. Thank you. Go ahead. MSN, no one uses that anymore. Oh, here we go. Turn on your webcam. I can turn on your sound, and these send me a stream in real time that I keep. And I can stop. I can control your monitor and have a keylogger. Understand, right here, 4 functions, typical functions. I am looking at you, I am listening to you, I see what's on your desktop, and I'm watching you type. If that doesn't put a chill down your back, you don't understand the implications of these. I've actually one of the forensic cases I dealt with was a guy who thought it was up in Vermont, guy thought that someone had a scoped rifle outside aiming it at his family. And later we figured out the guy had hacked into the system and was watching him with a webcam. All right, go ahead. You get the idea? I have access to everything. Now, these things only cost about 15, 20 bucks on the market. And by the way, antivirus catches it, I get 2 or 3 more versions. You go ahead. Go ahead with it. This is the tool of choice. This has always been the tool of choice. It doesn't matter. I mean, we see this everywhere, and these are hard to find. I wipe. I format my machine anytime I get on a network I don't know, or every 2 weeks. I'm an expert in these. I'm considered an expert in the field in these, and I know I can't find them. If your system has been around a while, if you're not running antivirus, if you have more than 100 computers, there is a good chance you have these. Now, I get in, I maintain access, and then I have one final thing. I'm screwing around with you, your computer's going in and out, blah, 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 your CD. I come in, I see you've called the police. I can see because I'm looking at them. I uninstall it. Forensically, there is an artifact there, a 444K file, which is impossible to find forensically. All right? This is what you're dealing with. And you want to learn how to make them undetectable to antivirus? Go to YouTube. Now, you think you're good with Mac? Nope. Think you're good with Linux? Nope. This is an application, folks. Anything that can run an application, any operating system, and please tell me if you know an operating system that can't run an application, has Trojans. This is a systemic problem. Now, real quick, do I have time? A little bit of time, real quick. How to fix this? We're going to play a quick game. Sorry, Kim. Passwords. Right now, our password cracking rig can go through 12 million passwords a second. It doesn't take much for us to crack them. It can also do really kick-ass at mining Bitcoin, Zincoin actually. Here's characteristics of good passwords. All right? Now, real quick game. We got 3 passwords. I want everybody to pick which one they think is the most secure. 2nd, 2. You might say 1? 3. Who says 1? Raise your hand. Who says 2? There's no wrong answer. Well, there is a wrong answer, but who says 3? Well, let's look at it. Mary had a little lamb. 13 characters, 3 uppercase, 0 numeric, 1 special character. That's a pretty good password. My password cracking file will have to be probably a petabyte to get that, which is big. All right? Number 2, 13 characters, 2 uppercase, 1 numeric, 3 special characters. But look what happens to number 3. It's 16 characters. 2 uppercase, no numeric, but 5 special characters. This is almost impossible to crack. For my what's called rainbow table, I need to have 86 million exabytes in space. 1 exabyte is 1,000 petabytes. 1 petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. 86 million. It's like 860 zettabytes, something like that. All right, let's geek out. Now, this meets all the characteristics minus numeric. It's alphanumeric, right? It's long. There's no dictionary words, correct? Anyone want to challenge me on that? It's not, because we have to think like a computer, not a person. In our languages, space is nothing. It's a separation. But nothing in computers is null. That is a special character. There is no dictionary word called MARY special characters, HAD special character, special character, special character, LAMB special character. Think like a computer. Number 6, this is easy to remember. I'm a huge Floyd fan. Collective Soul fan, anybody? I don't know if they're around here. It's Stevie Ray Vaughan. I use all their lyrics. My passwords are usually around 40 characters. I never forget them. I sing my song while I'm typing it. But you can have up to 256 characters on all operating systems. Use that. That's called a passphrase. You learn how to do that, you're good to go. Finally, update your software. You want to know how Equifax got in? They didn't update their software. Have an effective policy. It sucks when one of your systems gets hit. Make sure you test them. Address 0-day. We are so sick of this. We've been talking about this for 30 years. At our con, we created stickers. I have a bunch for your IT guys. Patch your shit. All right? Just patch it. Be done with it. Don't hold off. I said 0 days are exploits created before the patch. Most are day 1. People reverse engineer those patches and start attacking. So it becomes more dangerous once those updates come out. Educate your end users. Make sure you empower them. They don't have to be experts, but they should know. Your end user is going to keep me from coming in by not clicking on a link. All right? Do not make them understand it's not because they're stupid that they failed. Are you doing phishing engagements? Are you actually doing end user education? If you have IT professionals, train them. This is not something that they know. That Trojan video, I showed IT professionals and they're as stunned as you, and that's their job. And then finally, it's not all about hackers. Malicious activities, studies have shown 50-60% of all malicious attacks come from the inside. Do you have protection? Does everybody have admins? Because let's just make it easy. But malicious attacks only account for 10% of the security hacks. 90% are accidents. A breach may happen when someone gets into your network, but you have a disclosure if someone accidentally sends it out. If you don't know the difference there, you need to understand the difference. Thank you very much. The final thought I would have for you is you're going down a road everybody has with regulations. You better have a good lawyer that understands data privacy and regulations, have a crisis communication expert, make sure you have cyber liability insurance because it's not going to be available for long, and make sure you're testing your networks on a regular basis. Thank you. Hey, if you want a sticker, I have like 1,000 of them.
Thank you. Does this work? No? Is this on? Thank you very much. That was great. In the course of time, you're going to be with us this evening.
Tonight and tomorrow night.
Tonight
Yep.
and tomorrow night. And once you start, Dave and I have had a 1-hour discussion already with tons of questions. And once you start talking about this, it there's never ending. So I'm going to ask if I can hold the questions and try to find him tonight, grab him, get him to the side, and you'll have some really great discussions. Is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Okay, super. Okay, thank you. So,